So I wanted to share my feedback about the Borderlands movie. I did go to see the movie in my local theater. I actually got a discount with Atom, which is an app I wasn't familiar with. I'll include that in the description box if you want to check it out. I was able to see the movie for $5. So this is the cast, and actually let me go back because I wanted to say that I loved Kevin Hart in this movie. I think that this movie is probably going to be elevated if you're into the comic, because I wasn't even aware of the comic. And so this movie did expose me to the comic only after the fact. Before, I was just going to see it because Kevin Hart was in it. And also, it was a pretty cool cast with Jamie Lee Curtis. You know what I'm saying? But that was my initial draw to it. But then now I'm aware that there's this comic called Borderlands, which I haven't seen anywhere or ever heard of, but I'm definitely gonna check that out. So yeah, so this is the awesome cast. Kate Blanchett, she was another reason why I wanted to see this. Jack Black, he played Claptrap. Jamie Lee Curtis, who's a classic. I mean, we've always heard her name as Dr. Tannis. Kevin Hart, of course, as Roland. Ariana Greenblatt, who was new to me. She played Tiny Tina. Florian Munteanu, also new to me. He played Craig, and we never even saw his face. I mean, towards the end you see a piece of his face, but we he's actually very handsome, but you didn't really get to see that at all in the movie. And Edgar Ramirez, who I'm not familiar with either, but I really enjoyed Edgar Ramirez as the villain in this movie. And then you can see the comic characters underneath them. So I think, pretty cool matchup. This is what the characters look like naturally. We're gonna see what they look like in the film. I went ahead too far. So yes, Kevin Hart was so handsome in this film. Like I am a Kevin Hart fan, and I totally loved how he played a hero in this film. He has played the hero in other films, but I really liked how in this film he was the hero. I loved his outfit, something about being in blue. Like I just loved everything about his character, and he also had a sense of humor in this film along with being the hero. So I totally loved the role that he played. Um, Kate Blanchett, oh, and I think I spelled her name incorrectly. I'm sorry, Kate. So Kate Blanchett took a second to like for me to warm up to as a character. I'm not like into ageism or anything, but she definitely played a mature character, which the film touched on. Like she's a mature woman. I did not like her hairstyle. Like I get it now when I see the comic why they did their hair like that, but in the film it was kind of like a pet peeve for me. It was so unnatural. Like it was just so obviously a wig, and who she had a ton of attitude, a ton of style. Like she, I think as an actress nailed this character in terms of like how much attitude she had in the film. In some cases, it seemed like maybe she overplayed it. But I mean, hey, it's better you overplay than you underplay. This is definitely a character with attitude, like her body movements and everything. But I wish they had done something different again with her hair because it just basically stayed like that the whole film, and it was just wasn't, to me, it wasn't natural. Like, I don't know why they did that. Like, they just made it obvious that it was a wig, and I feel like that took away from the film because we're supposed to have a what's called a willing suspension of disbelief. Like we're supposed to believe that this is a world that exists, and just her hair being like just obviously a wig for the whole time was a little bit frustrating, but definitely true to character. Jamie Lee Curtis, again, like I said a diverse cast because I appreciate how they again they this cast was more mature than usual. Like these are older adults, and Hollywood tends to be a little bit biased at times, but I like how they use that as a part of the storyline. And Jamie Lee Curtis looks so amazing in her role, and she did an excellent job in the film. So I really appreciated seeing her in this film. So the cast as a whole, pretty cool. Um, I don't think I want to say anything else about this, but the cast as a whole was pretty cool. I really did get a lot of like, uh, this is like what I call Star Wars on speed and heroin. I've never been on those drugs, but I know they're the hallucinogens. I know they make reality, they alter reality for the person who takes them. And like I just imagine that if they were mixed, this is what the Borderlands movie is to Star Wars. Like I don't know which came first. I think that's a good topic to research. I don't know when the Borderlands, maybe by the end of this presentation, I'll look it up. Or you could say it in the comments. I don't know when the Borderlands comic was written. But I mean, I know Star Wars is more popular, so I did see a lot of similarities with the robot, um, with outer space, right? Because this world is a different world. The time travel, the realms, the odd characters, and even the world itself is oddly a mixture of like what we might see in modern day, but also it's not modern day because of the advanced technology, which I feel is very similar to Star Wars, a little Star Trek-ish too. So anyway, um and that's what I, brought up here in this slide. And then also even with some X-Men vibes, um Kate Blanchett, who plays Lilith, reminded me of um uh not Cyclops, but Jean. Reminded me of Jean in terms of the phoenix, the fire, the wings, the flying, the becoming someone else type of vibe. So definitely some similarities, I thought. As I said before, Edgar Ramirez, I really like the diversity with him. He was definitely a cool villain, and there was some pretty nice plot surprises that came along with his character. So he was cool. So with all that being said, should you see the film? Now, I want to say yes, especially if you're a fan of the comics. Oh, there's a typo. I think this film should be seen. I think yes, it's entertaining, but there was a point where I had to like get up and get some nachos because I was sitting there without anything, and I was just like, I gotta get through this movie. So it did at some point feel like, oh, oh, come on, like it could have been better. It could have been better, but it wasn't terrible, is what I'm trying to say. But if you're eating some popcorn and you read the comics, then yeah, I think this is a movie that should be seen. But and to support the actors as well, because I think the actors did a really great job. Um, Tiny Tina. Again, I wasn't really familiar with this actress, but she's cool. And it's like the movie did this made this weird turn because and I guess I'm gonna leave that for those of you to watch the movie, but there is a weird kind of like plot twist that goes along with her character. Um, and again, like the bunny ears make sense because that's who she was in the comics, but on screen as a live action, it got old to me, but I think she pretty much nailed her role. It's nice to see young actors. So again, I think Borderlands is a cool universe. I again have not read any of these comics, have never heard of Borderlands before, but in a world where we get part ones and twos and threes and fours and fives and six and sevens and eights of the same film, I definitely can appreciate a new door, a brand new door opening with Borderlands. And as an educator, I'm also glad to see literacy being promoted because again, people will be exposed to reading Borderlands. Young people will be exposed to reading Borderlands. So yeah, that promotes literacy. So that's pretty cool too. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about the film. So did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the movie? Are you gonna see it? What do you think about the characters? What do you think about the plot? Let me know down in the comments and thank you for watching.